Like, how much money you guys make per prisoner? Or what? How much money does this fucking thing make a year? Like, what's going on here? You guys are making how much? You guys are making millions and millions and millions of dollars off of prisons like it's a money-generating machine. That's fucking terrifying.
We have more people in prison per capita than any other country, and it's by far. It's not just by a small margin.
Oh, it's a massive amount. Yeah, it's a massive amount.
No place is safe.
Well,
when you're around other human beings.
Folks.
Yeah.
Well, when there's disparity and when there's poverty and when there's people that are ignored and marginalized, that's there's an issue in this country where everybody's like, yeah, people should pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Oh, and yeah. I agree to a certain extent. I agree if your conditions are optimal, if you don't have health issues, if you are not in a terrible, violent neighborhood trapped in this horrible school system, if all those factors aren't, then yeah, you should probably pull yourself by your bootstraps. Stop fucking crying, because you could be one of those kids. You could be someone whose situation is fucked from the jump, and there's nothing you can do about it. Everyone's abusing you. You've got people hitting you. There's violence around you. You don't know what. You don't know how to read. You're fucked. Your whole situation's fucked. So to tell those people to pull themselves by their bootstraps, who's going to teach them how to do that? Who's going to teach them how to develop character? Who's going to teach them to eliminate bad behavior patterns? You know how fucking difficult it is to change a person as opposed to develop a person? It's insanely difficult.
Yeah.
So in that sense, we're really ridiculous that we ignore the impoverished sections of our cities. It's ridiculous to allow that to ever happen. That should never be taking place. And everybody's like, oh, that's a utopian idea. Exactly. It's a utopian concept that can be achieved.
Yeah.
It's a utopian concept that using a fraction of the money we use to support these fucking corrupt dictators all throughout the world, a fraction of that could clean up every fucking city in America easily. Easily.
Yeah, people say that, people think that the idea of food stamps is that those people are all just, living on the dole or whatever and just like kicking back and getting the money. And it's like $1.50 per person in your family per day is not, you're not living the life. You're struggling to get by, and you're probably all fat because the food you're eating is all just disgusting, dollar burgers at McDonald's. And that's the shit you're feeding to your kids because you can't afford. It's like, the system is set up to keep the poor, to create more poor.
I don't think it's set up that way. I think it takes advantage of poor people, and poor people also get stuck in a rut. I mean, it's true that we don't have a class system in this country, and this is a country where a person can be poor and can be really good at something and then eventually wind up being a wealthy person because of that. This is a very rare situation like that where, like, a rapper can go from being like in an impoverished neighborhood to being like a celebrity, like a Jay-Z guy who's like a great
music and sports.
Yeah, music, sports.
To some extent, other forms of performing, but it's hard to, how do you develop that skill if you're poor?
Exactly.
And you have to, work all the time or be starving all the time.
And you don't have any guide. You don't have role models. Like, we need to learn from older people. And like I said before, it's way harder to change someone. Once they become a certain way, it's way hard to accept that you are fucking up, that your personality has holes in it, that you're psychotic, you're abusive, you're manipulative, like whatever it is that's wrong with you. Changing is super fucking hard to do. You could change entire generations, just massive change throughout our entire country. We cut way back on the crime by putting money into these areas and making areas where people can feel safe, where kids can feel safe after school, where they're going to meet like counselors and coaches and people that were happy to be working there, helping these young kids and teaching them how to play games, get along with each other, teaching them a little bit about character, and having a place where they know that they don't have to worry. They're going to get food for sure. They're going to get someone who cares about them for sure. They're going to get people that can instruct them in various elusive aspects of life when you're a young man or a young woman and you're growing up in a terrible neighborhood. We don't take care of that. And that's one of the reasons why we have to worry about bad neighborhoods. It's one of the reasons why we have to worry about poverty. It's because people have just been fucking shit on from the moment they came out of their mother's womb. They just never got a break. And that's not fair.